Well, what is there anything that you would like to ask us, um, Brother Shango,
You're
regarding?
doing very well. I mean, I'm looking at your feeding off each other, flowing very nice. I'm just enjoying it. You can just do what you do.
Yeah, well, I just feel that I am grateful that I have been able to teach the young people here in the Gambia. When we first got here, we were looking at, we got a 6 bedroom compound with, what is it? We were expecting our families to come. Some came, but just very few in between. However, we had students would come in and clean the house. And it was different for them than us in America. When you go to work, you bring a lunch. Well, they would come with nothing. So I started, so this how the school developed with me preparing food because one, that whole week, she didn't have any food other than what I had for her to eat. And she became ill on Friday. So Monday, we started the school. I started teaching them how to make the wild rice, because we liked wild rice. And I started assisting them with making stews with at least whatever's in season, we use that in the stew. And then I taught them we put part of it in the freezer and the other we would eat off of it. So if we wanted to make a new stew, we would start over with the stew and then we would take the one in the freezer, let it thaw a bit and mix it in and add more spices because when you're eating food that's not common, you have to make it taste good.
Yes.
When they go and they buy a hamburger or pizza, it tastes good because they put all these additives. So I,
Hmm.
I taught them how to use the spices. We don't use soy, but we do use the fermented one, like the liquid Bragg's aminos,
Hmm.
for the flavor. Liquid Bragg, the Bragg soy sauce,
Bragg. It's
Bragg.
something we have in America, big time.
Yeah, and it's also in the UK too, because I used to buy it in the health food stores when we were living there at the time. But that's one of the fermented ones, and I think a netto as well as tempeh. And tempeh is not like the soy. What do you call it? That those soy things, those patties. What do you call that?
You call
Soy
that,
things.
yeah, that
Yeah,
soy,
the soy. Yeah,
tofu.
tofu.
Tofu,
So
tofu, yes.
tofu is if it's like the Asians, they take it and they ferment it and then they prepare it for you to eat. But when you buy it in the store, it's not fermented. It has a lot of contaminants in it. So I started, instead of using those things, I used the spices and herbs and mushrooms and, you know, uh, seaweed, sea moss. I put all those type of things out there for them to learn. And with the smoothies, I put at least 20 some things in my smoothies, and it's not easy because I balance it with I may have mangoes, a little bit of papayas, bananas, what is it, plantain, and then I add in the different greens. So here we have the callaloo greens, and sometimes we have kale, and then I have some of the Gambian greens, and then I put in the ginger, a little garlic. I add in the cinnamon, the chia seeds, the hemp seeds, pea protein. What else would I put in there? Fresh coconut. What else? And I mean, I just put all of these different things in there. And with that balance, it's a meal in itself. When I would take, we take a jar like this to work, that would last us for 4 hours before we would eat the next meal. And that way, when I work, I never really had to leave my area because I would have all my food on my desk. And the smoothie, I would have that first. And I started helping these young people here. They look so much better than they did when they first started, because the food that I prepare for people is not the way it's done in the restaurants. You know, they give you food. For instance, if I'm going to make chickpeas, not going to use the can. I'm going to take the pressure cooker and make and cook the beans and then add it to, you know, whatever dish I'm making. Yeah, so and it takes longer, but it's definitely well worth it. Well worth eating.
Yes,
Okay, now,
because I met a young man here. I was talking to him a couple of days ago. He told me, "Oh, Dr. Joe looks familiar. I've had his wife, Mama Naasira, food in the
What?
Gambia." I said, "Oh." He told me I went to the restaurant or to the home, and they gave me food. I said, "Cool." He said the food was very very nice. So I said, "Okay." Yeah, he told me he came to he went to your home and have
Yes.
lunch at your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was telling me that yesterday. He was telling me that because he saw the video
Wow.
and he called me. He was telling me that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. Many of the our folks from the UK, you know, with the Caribbean background,
Hmm.
they love our food. You know, it's because coming from the Caribbeans, you have that plethora of so many fruits and vegetables exposure than we've had in America. You know,
Yes.
yeah. So because I took the food and of course became more international and shopping in a lot of the health food stores. You know, San Francisco, Berkeley, we have some of the best health food stores I think in the country. And so my money have always gone on food. I'm not a material thing for clothes. I remember, you know, guys would give me money to buy something for myself. I go straight to the health food store. They said, "Well, I thought you was gonna buy." I said, "Oh, what?" Because that's my thing, you know, and so that's why I say I prepare food for people like I prepare for myself. No additive, nothing, none of that. It costs more money. Now, it is true, a lot of people, they'll come and they will eat, and once they get healthy, they won't come back because they're not used to spending, maybe like in America, we may spend $50 or $60, you know, a meal. And I've spent $90. Last year, the two of us had gone out to eat. It cost us $150 in this vegan restaurant. The sister, the food was so good, I didn't care. I just bought and bought and brought some home for the next day. So food is very, and the thing of it is, people look at us and they say, "God, you guys eat so much food, but why are you so small?" Because the food we eat, it nourishes the body, and then it immediately eliminates. You know, we detox regularly. You know, we don't. If I sometime may have a little challenge, it's because I ate too much bread. You know, because I like the roti bread, so I have to add more vegetables in there to balance it out. You know, and drink plenty of water. That's important.
now, as Mama was talking about food and the importance, to have a good relationship, you're working on healthy eating. So keep in mind that the way our body is set up, it's made for eating alkaline things, fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, beans, you know. That's basically, those are things in nature. But when you start eating food that has been altered, it's acid to your body. And when you're eating things that are unwholesome like that, your body has to take the nutrients. Uh, it takes nutrients right out of the minerals in your body. So over time, you can end up with like weak bones or osteoporosis. So it's very important that you and your mate, you guys make a conscious effort to stay away from those acidy kind of foods, like anything with the white sugar. You know, anything that is white, you know, it has bleaching agents, and those bleaching agents cause a problem.
In the dairy.
And the dairy itself, that creates more calcium, or you're calcifying the pineal gland. So you look at things like the milk, the eggs, the cheese, and then you jump back on the other things that go with that. You have to stay away from the alcohol and the caffeine. That's not to be confused with nicotine, because just nicotine in and of itself is not a problem. It's only when you add things to it. The same with cigarettes. I don't recommend it, because anytime you put a match to something, you change it from being what it was to a chemical, and that can cause a problem with your body. I know it's been brought out in America, where President Trump has recently lowered the penalties for possession of marijuana. Well, marijuana is cool. It's one of the best things for the body, but it's best that you use it in teas and cookies and all of that. Now, when you put it to a match, you change its form so it becomes a chemical. So that's something you just have to be, shall we say, just aware of, and with everything you do, and
Just keeping a balance.
keep a balance. Now, the same with if you eat meat. Now, if you eat meat, keep in mind our teeth and our body's really not made for consuming meat, and it's acid. And when you eat meat, it destroys lysine. And lysine regulates your pineal gland. So if you are going to eat meat, make sure you eat things where you're getting some lysine, to stop the closing of your
And
pineal
a lot
gland.
of vegetables are good too.
Lysine in them.
Mhm.
So, do your research, you'll find a lot of common things that are natural. They get the lysine in it. In other words, I don't recommend the diet of just eating meat. Okay?
And also, I would like to, in the book, we talk about the prostate, which is can be man challenges in the women with fibroids. Now, with me, I've never had any fibroid challenges, and I've so many women, especially over the last 40 years, with this fibroid problems, and I learned that it has everything to do with the type of food you eat. Because I had gotten ill early, I had to eat more natural foods, whereas people that don't get ill, they eat everything. And then one day, then that's when they have the challenges. Yeah, I think it's really important, to eat and read about the different herbs and spices and how to prepare food. And YouTube is an excellent source when it comes to food. When I was in library school in 2000, and I remember taking classes there, and we were introduced to YouTube. I thought that was an incredible source of knowledge. And today I share it. I have an iPad, so I keep it around the kitchen so that my students, whatever we want to make, we go to YouTube and we take out the things that's not good for us and add in our healthier source. So, yeah, YouTube. Someone asked me today. They were looking for to make an onion stew. And I said, well, the way I do it, I add a lot of, vegetables to it. But, tell your daughter to go to the YouTube, and it will be a plethora of so many different recipes, and you can mix and match and write them down, and you can end up like I did when I was in junior high. I created a little cookbook. All the things that we prepared in the classroom, I kept all of those those papers, those recipes. And on weekends, my mother would have me to cook, and I would use those recipes. So it's really important to get that, start bringing up our children to prepare food. It's important.
So,
Now, it's
so are you
important oh, go ahead, please.
so are you saying that no matter the health condition that you may have, food is the medicine.
Food is the medicine.
Yes.
Exactly.
And your medicine should be your
Food.
food. So when you're putting in acidy things like your artificial sweeteners, your fruit juices that are sweetened with my God, you know what I'm talking about, and eating
Gross
white
fructose.
flour.
Fructose.
Yes, eating
Yeah.
white flour, that has no nutritional value, and eating those things that, like the pastries, the cakes, and those things that aren't wholesome. Hey, as a couple, I think it's important that you guys work on your nutrition because that affects your body, that affects your mind, and that your communication can certainly be off if somebody's constipated. What'd you say? Huh? Okay.
Because
Yeah.
Dr. Joe, many years ago, I have like at the back of my house, I say I will start to grow my own food.
Yes.
I use the crates, the plastic crates. I
Mm-hmm.
put it on my roof, on my
Oh, okay.
tool shed. I
Wow.
use every space I could find. And I
Yes.
collect the soil, the horse manure. I
Mm-hmm.
avoid too much of those. I don't know pesticides, no pesticide. I got so much food like spring onions, leeks. Look, I already start planting garlic for this year.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
for next year I start planting garlic already. So I know how
Yes.
important, and I avoid the Chinese garlic as much as possible. I look at the
Mhm.
Italian garlic and I grow it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Wow.
So then I
Yeah.
That's
know
wonderful.
the importance of food. So I grew 42 different types of food a couple of years ago.
Wow,
Um,
that's
from,
amazing.
from cucumber to garlic to leek to chard.
Wow.
I grew
No wonder.
everything in a small space, but you could see the amount of food I got. I grew
Mhm.
pumpkin vertical, so it's growing up on the wall.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. That is
So
great.
yes,
So yes.
so I use the space I know how important food is, and so that's one of the things again that people have to start to do: grow their own food, get a little
Yeah.
container, put it in a porch,
That's
because
right.
if you don't control the food, if you don't
Yes.
control what you eat, somebody will control
Well,
you.
absolutely. Absolutely. Now look
So
at your
is he growing this?
oils.
Are you growing this in the UK or are you in Jamaica?
In the UK,
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Now, one has to
Wow.
be aware of the oils, and Mama Nasira,
Mm-hmm.
as she pointed out, we use extra virgin olive oil
Or
or
coconut oil.
coconut oil. And here, palm oil. Palm oil is good if you have the kernel. But when you separate the kernel from the oil, it has a tendency to become rancid or spoiled, and that can be a problem. But yes, so
And too much of it. It's good to minimize any oil, if you can. I have to talk to my students about the oil because
mhm.
I was looking at one of the chefs. I had just bought this really quality olive oil, and she was making the stew, and I saw her lift it up and was pouring it. I mean, and so I didn't say anything because I've learned to just wait. And so when I got ready to wash the dish, I saw all this oil in the bowl. I said, "Oh, I'm gonna now have to bring it to her attention because we can make stew without any oil."
Yes,
You
and
hmm
know?
we have an air cooker, so we can
Yeah,
cook
the air
things
fry.
without that, the air
Yeah.
fryer. And,
Mm-hmm.
we stay away from those
Saturated.
polyunsaturated oils.
Mm-hmm.
Polyunsaturated oils. It used to mystify me that you would have a corn that you eat, and then you look over here and you see corn oil, and it's in a bottle and it's clear. And then later I found out they're considered industrial oils because they're clear and they're refined. And when you going through the refining process because of the omega fats, it smells like all the goodness gravy. So they put in chemical deodorizers in that so it doesn't smell. and then you put this in your food. Now, it was great marketing, and I'd say evil genius to call them vegetable oils, because that gives you the feel that, hey, this must be some healthy stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like in, what was it, 1992 in America? We were flooded with the soy stuff, man. We had soy wieners, we had soy hot dogs, ice cream. I mean, all of that stuff. But we did not know that the problems it contained because of the contaminants and the other chemicals they put in to try to make it happen. I mean, many people that were trying to do the right thing and eat healthy, they ended up dying with cancer. Some of us ended up with, well, some of us are not the same, okay?
The soy.
So there are some people that don't want to let go of that soy, and some people that really don't. Well, your choice. I suggest that you understand that there are some
Yeah.
folks that they put something together because it's able to be put together cheaply, and they are able to bamboozle you into using it. And it's very hard for them to give it up because they're making so much money.
I told you about that tuna twist.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I
you have to.
want to ask you. Many years ago, I asked my friends vegetable oil. Ask them which vegetable. Is it potatoes? Is it spinach? I said, them, which vegetable do you get an oil from? And none of them could have tell me. I said the corn oil. And I'm trying to find out from them which vegetables you can get oil from. So do you have an idea of vegetable oil? What's really that? Because you don't get oil from any vegetable at all. So I don't know why they call it vegetable. Is it a trick or is it just a marketing strategy?
Oh man,
Yeah.
marketing strategy. It was
Yes.
called evil genius, man. Like that soy, they had us believing, man, that if you eat it, then women won't have their problems and you'll be
Yes.
healthier because the Asians and Chinese eat the soy and they're healthier and live longer. They did not fill in the blanks that they only eat a little bit of it along with their vegetables and fish
And
and
it was
that kind of stuff.
fermented.
They didn't tell us that as my wife said, it was fermented to take out those contaminants. But no, they put it in aluminum vats and all that crap. And you wonder why you can't see well, you wonder why your hearing's off, and you wonder why you're walking to the side.
Yeah, it is true that they did a number on us with this food. Um, I I mean, when I left home, I was eating hamburgers from across the street from the college in 1971. They brought that McDonald's, and you can get a whole meal less than $1. Hamburgers, double hamburgers, French fries that we learned that weren't really French fries. There were meat and everything in it. It was amazing. I had gone back to college in the 11th in the 90s to finish my degree, and I read a book that the Japanese were the ones that did a lot of that processing of the foods and had it sent to our country. It was sad. I worked in McDonald's for 4 months, trying to make a little money for my children, and it was sad. If the food got cold, you threw it away. I knew right then that was a challenge. How
Well,
you gonna throw away some? We put food aside in the refrigerator and you reheat it, but it's only for when it's hot. So yeah, I learned that they really, well, it was reducing the population. Here we are.
Yes,
Now we
yes.
have, they use all of this, to take our lives. If you're not wise, you're gonna be out of here.
now with relationships, if you're looking at babies, you got to do the natural thing. Most men don't know that the condoms they have, like talcum in there, and that ends up creating all kind of problems. And for the women, they get all these devices, and it's Naasira, isn't there a better way they can do that?
Well, I know with the tampons, when when we were growing up, we had the old fashioned Kotex, and with the strap and the pin. It was interesting how my mother was taught us how to do it. But then they set it up where they had the ones that they tape in the underwear. So you knew that there was probably some chemical in there. And then some women, they wanted to make it even quicker by using that tampon. And I never forget in 1979 and 1980, they was telling women that there was some chemical in the tampon. And I used to wonder, because I used it too, and it's like an irritation, you know, in that area.
And how many
And I
women
mean,
died?
and many women died from that.
Sudden death syndrome.
Yeah.
Sudden death. Can you imagine? They weren't even creative in what they were calling sudden death.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah, it's amazing how those things can happen. But in terms of women, you don't have to do all those devices. If you are eating right, then if you do have a regular cycle, then you can just use a what, Naasira, to prevent babies?
Oh, we use the rhythm method.
Thank you.
Yeah, the rhythm method is really good, but you have to be very, very disciplined. I used it for the second and third child. In that between the third and the fifth child, I got pregnant because I depended on my children's father, the husband at that time, to use a condom. And I think he did something to it. And I came up pregnant. And so, yeah,
So
it
what's
can
the
be.
rhythm method? Can you explain to
That's-
The
the
rhythm
family?
method is, after I had my first child, I was working as a medical lab tech, and there were Filipinos working with us. And I remember this Filipino lady, she said, now, when you're in a professional environment, you don't just go having babies after babies. She said, you need to use the rhythm method. So we got the calendar, and you go with the first day of your cycle. That's the first day I start the rhythm. So from day one of your cycle, normally for women, if they eat it fairly healthy, the cycle should stop within 5 days. Some may go 6 days, but day 10, those are the days that you are safe from getting pregnant. And then the next 15 days, you have to be mindful of maybe using some other method. Now, I was introduced to the diaphragm because I didn't want any foreign object like what was that other one?
The
They would
loop?
put in
The loop?
the loop. Yes. I didn't trust that one because, I've always been mindful of, like abortions too. I never did do that, but a lot of women around my age were doing it. So I used the diaphragm in those 15 days. And sometimes they gave us the pharmacy, you can get the foam, if you put enough of that, and sometimes you need the foam and the diaphragm. So it was kind of a challenge, but you have to be disciplined, and I did it. And then after those 15 days, that's like 25 days with the first 10 days. After that, you're safe. You don't have to worry about any pregnancies because the body is ready to ovulate. Now, I learned later on, after, of course, I was past that stage, that they have a thermometer. Those 48 hours can tell when your body is more or less ovulating. You can be really good. I didn't have that tool at the time, or that knowledge and awareness. But yeah, that's the way. Those 15 days after the first 10 days, the beginning of your cycle, that's when you should use some form, if you don't want to get pregnant, to use some form of a birth control. Some use condoms too. And make sure you get the healthy ones, because now I think they have it where they're more, how can I say,
I don't trust them.
more alternative. But I mean, if you go to maybe health
Oh.
food stores or something like that, yeah, because now the world is changing. We're now changing from all of those chemicals and devices that's caused us so many illnesses and some people death. It's changing, maybe because they have reduced the population in such a way that now, we're not having children as much as before because there are alternatives now. And even with the rhythm method, a woman hopefully can have a husband that's willing to work with her too, you know, because I know after the third pregnancy, my children's father was a little bit more willing to go along with whatever method to prevent us from having more children, because he made up his mind, I don't want any more children, and I was happy. So I never had any more children.
Okay, so to sum it up, we've had one part of it, the other being nutrition, which basically you eat healthy. You know, just eat as natural as you can, eat as much live food as you can to stay alive, and stay away from those acidy things. You guys work together, you use the right type of oil if you're going to use it. And if you're going to be, if you have some chewing gum, don't do it. Because your stomach, when you're eating gum, it's telling your stomach, food is coming, food is on the way. And you have the acids that are ready to do their thing. And when no food comes, then they start eating on the lining of your stomach. What do they call it? Ulcers?
Yeah,
Okay.
I had that challenge because I used to chew gum every day in high school. And I noticed that I started having lots of pain in my stomach. And today I can't eat chewing gum at all because I must have destroyed the lining in my stomach.
Now, if you're going to eat ground nuts, make sure that you eat the skin. It has more nutrients in the skin than in the peanuts itself. So if you're just eating the ground nut without the skin, you're headed more towards acidy food, okay? And once again, your body's going to have to pull the nutrients from your minerals in your body to neutralize it so it can eat it or break it down and try to work with it. So that much for the food. Now, the third part is spirituality.
Spirituality.
Okay. Yes, sir. And did you want to begin, Naasira?
Being spiritual.
How that affects men and women, or whatever couple you call it together.
Being spiritual and not really religious, it means you just naturally grow with. It's like in the body, it has certain mechanism that can help you to navigate life without, having a lot of issues. Spiritual, I like to go with the flow. I like to think for myself. I don't generally follow just what people tell me, because I don't want to be misled. So that's form of my spiritual is going within and coming out with whatever I'm supposed to do, and I'm generally right when I do it that way.
So just like with your me time, when you go within, when you're doing your work yourself, then spiritually, the relationship that you have with that person is going to grow, because each day you're trying to be a better person than you were before. And so when both of you are doing this and you're doing things together, like my wife, I introduced you to that healthy, wealthy, and wise. So it turned on my wife. Couples can do that together. And if they were to do that together, they'll experience the prosperity and the opulence, when they are in a state of gratitude, because the more you give thanks for what you have, the more you're given to be thankful for. And when you forgive, you begin to heal completely.
Yeah, and I did it took me a while to do the 21 days healthy, wealthy, and wise, because I was thinking in myself, I already have that together. But when I did it with him on the 20th of November, 2023, it was the day of my mother's transition. Now, that was then 30 years. And each day I had to think of something that that I was grateful for, how I can, forgive people. And doing that for 21 days, it really, when you do something for 21 days, you have pretty much have broken a habit or you've made a change, and you can go forward. So yeah, that it's really good. And I've heard motivational speakers, they talk about, sticking with something for 21 days or more, and you can make that change.
Well, the difference between this and those other suggestions is that with this method, you don't have to fight against your subconscious. And your subconscious is you from the time you come out of your womb, go through that veil of forgetfulness and don't know what the heck is going on. Thank God we got a guardian angel to help us. And you start acquiring the information from your family, from the schools you go, from the books you read, from the movies you've seen, from the videos, from the people you've met. All of that becomes you and part of your subconscious. So when someone suggests that they're, New Year's resolution, I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes, yes I am, yes I am. Well, your subconscious may say, but I've got you up to this point, and what are you talking about, little pipsqueak? And next thing you know, unless you have a lot of determination and strength, your desire to have that happen just poof, goes away. But this way, you create a new paradigm. You become a different person. And that's why it works, to be healthy, wealthy, and wise together. Once again, it's a journey you can work together. And it's so satisfying because not only do you see, but you feel the results.
Right.
You have any questions?
You have any questions?
Did we cover it?
Yes, you cover all the triangle, like you describe it, which which the public will appreciate, because I think we have a lot to learn as we grow and evolve in this space. So I do appreciate all what you share with the audience, and it was very comprehensive.
Thank you. It was very.
Well, we give thanks. You know, we stay in that state of gratitude for everything. And I'll tell you, good brother, we certainly appreciate this opportunity so that we can get information out to others. Because the more information you have, the more of an opportunity you have to make choices.
And I also appreciate you. It's almost like God sent the ancestors, the universe, the angels sent you in our life at this time when we are wrapping up everything on our new journey. And it has given us an opportunity to close, with us expressing the last 9 years, because we were in the UK first, and then we came here because the British, they said, come to the Gambia. And because we thought about Ghana, but since we had a friend, Gambian, that lived in Alaska when I lived there, she connected us with the family here. So I'm really grateful that we had an opportunity to really get a chance to know our brothers and sisters in England, because we were somewhat separated, and not knowing that there was a large community of our melanated people there. And some of you are just amazing.
Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
we really appreciate, there was one woman from the UK, but she said her family background is Nigerian. And she knew that we were concerned about our food here in the Gambia. So she introduced us to a Lebanese man that had a big garden with all of the vegetables. And we've been going there and sharing it with a lot of our Americans who's been coming, some of the UK. So Gambia is really on the rise now that is coming up with the food. Their stores at one time, did not have the chia seeds and the coconut, not as much. Now it's really growing. So what I like to share, since we've had to order so much of our food from the UK, Amazon Marketplace, or people bring it from the US, it would be really wonderful to have a health food store here in the Gambia. But I wouldn't want to do it alone. I would like to do it with some of the Americans, the British, our British brothers and sisters, that background of Caribbeans, and the Gambians. And that way, it would be wonderful to have it as a co-op. That way, everyone that's participating or working, they have shares in it. And that way, if you have money in it, you're gonna make it the best. So
100%.
that's something, once I have the proper income, that's something I would do. Because Gambia is a beautiful place. For the past 10 days here in the winter, it's been very, very pleasantly warm. So you don't get that just anywhere in the world. Gambia has that.
Well, there are two things I like to say. Number one, if there's anyone out there that has connections or is involved in, they could use a green or eco recycling center or centers. By having that, it will change this place completely in a positive way, because what you see has a lot to do with the way you think and the way you go around. So if you're looking at trash, then you're kind of thinking trashy. So if we can have someone, groups, forces, I know we have a 501c, we have an NGO, and we can't do a whole lot right here. That's why we have to go back to the States. And with that in mind, Mama, could you talk about Sheba?
Oh, Sheba, yes, we do have a GoFundMe that's really, really supportive, and we've put a lot into it because we feel that we are about giving. And we have given so much. We've given 10 years of one of our annuities that ended. And we still continue with our retirement and our pensions and Social Security to keep it moving. But now that we have to go, we have Sheba that's been in our life over 4 years because we were burglarized in our last compound, the one with the 6 bedrooms, and it all happened during the beginning of COVID. And that was when, how the world was so challenged, and we had security, and security would allow people to take from us. Once we had a Nigerian lady that was one of our students, and then she told us a month later she had a husband coming to the Gambia from Nigeria. Well, I learned that when we were burglarized, her husband was working for the security, and with her working, in our school capacity, she could tell them exactly what we had. So all of our devices, our computers, laptop, our phones, all of that was taken. And then there was another time we had television gone. So when we moved here, where we are today, we ended up getting a dog, Sheba. And it almost appeared that she came to us because, we're seniors and we were able to take care of her so well that she's intelligent. She's an intelligent German Shepherd. So we cannot leave her. And we left her last year for about 6 to 8 weeks in the States when we were doing our book signing tour. The chefs, they fed her. And then there was two men who took care of the whole area. They walked her in the mornings and the evening. And so they did a great job, but they said that she was sad when we called. So we decided it's important that we bring her. But to bring her, it's going to cost a bit of money. We have to get the blood test, the vaccinations, the rabies shots, the certificates, the quarantine, and all that is going to be something like $3,000. And we're not asking for anything extra. But GoFundMe has been really excellent too, because they've been giving us a ceiling of amount of money that we should be, that we can make. And if we make that, they raise it up a little more. And maybe they're getting it out there to their people. Also, we know people that are animal advocates. So we've written letters to them, and so they're supporting and sharing the knowledge.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it if you can share that GoFundMe. It's just that Mom and I, we had a 10-year annuity, and we used that to fund the school, the books, and pay the stipends for the students because we have been paying them. And we've given out over 45 certificates for 6 weeks, 1 month, and one year and advanced training courses. And, after 2 years, we were just on our retirement stuff, and that was not financially sustainable. So at this point, we have to close down the school and go back to USA because with Naasira Ageela, everybody's got to get back to their country. And we've got to get back, and we've got a housing situation where we have to be there to sign the papers. And Mama has a big toe, a little toe that she needs some attention to. So we've got to go, and we cannot leave our dog behind. To do so with pain as such that we can't even imagine that. Mm-hmm. And we pointed out before, this place doesn't have a recycling center. When I walk that dog, it's a shame what we have to walk across or walk over, and you can use your imagination. But in here, they take dogs, female dogs, and they force breed them. And a lot of folks don't love themselves. So they certainly don't love the animals. So we are not leaving Sheba, and we ask everyone, please help us so we can continue to help others.
That's right. Yes.
Thanks very much. Yes, cool. Definitely, I will put the GoFundMe barcode in the chat, and
Okay.
then I will have my little princess to put it in for me when yes, because I want to, so I will have her to do it for me, and then we'll see how it goes. And I think we'll contribute something towards the GoFundMe to help Sheba.
Oh, what a blessing. What a blessing. Well, what Mom and I ask, all contributions, whether it's well-wishing, whether it's good vibes, whether it's a prayer, even money, it's all energy. And we just give thanks for all the support we received because Sheba alone, we had her video out there and she got to the first level, 1,400 just herself.
Yeah.
So we got our video out there and we want people to see it and see how we're doing and telling the truth about the glory story.
And all of this that we're doing now and with you, Brother Shango, it's going to really bring people together. We're looking at communities and tribes. And it doesn't mean the tribe from your home. It can be from different homes, different backgrounds, just the same mind level, the consciousness. This is, to me, coming from America, we've been prisoners of war. We've had people to come to our country and told not to stay away from us, not to fraternize with us because we're prisoners of war. And now we see that it's over, and it's a time where we're now coming together, and I'm just grateful and thankful.
It is so nice to love stand, not over, under, or in. I say love stand, so you guys can all use that word now. That we are all one. We're all connected. We're all connected.
Yeah.
And so one thought puts out energy that affects everyone.
Yes.
One love.
One love.
Yes. So again, nice talking to you. Thank you for taking your time out to go and have conversation with us, to feel free.
Yes.
To allow nature to guide our so whatever we say, and to speak it out in the most natural way as possible, because we are nature, and nature is us.
Yes. And also I want to thank Brother Galactic Clyde.
Absolutely.
For making this happen, to introduce us to you and refer us to you. he's an amazing man. I watched the video when you interviewed him, and he's an amazing, knowledgeable astrologer. All the science stuff. He's the man, and
He is
he
the man.
assisted us when we were in the UK with the food. When we had to speak, he was the one that served the people our food. So we're really grateful to him, and we're looking forward to seeing you all in the UK very soon.
And a shout out to Dr. Abu.
Yes.
He's been instrumental in helping us with his words of wisdom through song. And in fact, he got the music for one of our,
Yeah.
what do we call
One
that?
of our videos.
One of our videos, our theme song.
He has a theme song, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to him. He may be working on one for Sheba, okay?
Do you know Dr. Abu?
I know Dr. Abu, yes. Actually, I saw
Yeah.
Dr. Papakai a while ago.
Yes, yes.
At the Kwanzaa a while ago.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
give him our love.
Yeah.
Supreme, give him our love.
Exactly.
Okay. So thanks again.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
too.
You're welcome.
And we'll see
Nice
you
talking
again
to you.
soon.
Speak soon.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Peace.
Peace. Yeah.